Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our adult viewers, and a very special welcome to our young adult viewers. Welcome to another episode in the series 30 Lessons from the Life of the Last Prophet. Welcome to episode number 12, episode number 12, two cornerstones of the call. And just a reminder, please stay with us throughout the episode, because at the end of the episode we will be presenting the question of the week. Again, the question of the week at the end of this episode will be presented, and you can go onto our website, and please do so, and go to the form for question number 2, and go ahead and put your answer, and inshallah ta'ala this Friday we will announce the winner of this week's competition, this week's question of the week. Yesterday, brothers and sisters, we mentioned that in the second set of verses revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, he was commanded, "Qum fa'anzir," arise and warn, which meant that he was now and furthermore obligated to preach God's word and invite people to embrace Allah's. Now, because the idolatrous pagans of Mecca were so powerful and so strongly committed to their idolatrous way of life and their immoral customs, it wouldn't have been wise for the Prophet ﷺ to openly oppose them, to climb up on the rooftops and scream at the top of his lungs, "I'm the messenger of Allah, worship Allah alone, and avoid or get rid of these false deities, shun these false deities, stop worshiping these idols," etc. It wouldn't have been wise or prudent for the Prophet ﷺ to do that. Their response would have been swift, it would have been brutal, and there wouldn't have been a chance for Islam to spread. So the Prophet ﷺ, he spent the first 3 years of his prophethood inviting people to Islam individually and in secret. We also mentioned that Allah's command to the Prophet in those same verses, وَالرُّجْزَ فَهْجُرْ, shun the false deities, meant that he was to disavow polytheism, to reject, refuse the worship of many gods, and to make calling to the oneness of Allah, at-tawheed, the primary, number one priority of his call. This is precisely what the Prophet ﷺ did. For the first 10 years of his mission, this is exactly what the Prophet did. He made at-tawheed the number one priority. He himself, he avoided the false deities, and he called people to avoid and shun the false gods. In those first 10 years of prophethood, the Prophet didn't tell the people, this is halal, lawful, and this is haram, forbidden. He didn't introduce the 5 pillars, zakat, fasting, pilgrimage, or other rituals as we know them. He simply focused on correcting misguided beliefs and calling people to believe in Allah correctly and to worship Him solely without partners. However, this focus on theology, what we should and shouldn't believe, did not prevent him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from simultaneously striving to refine the character of his people and making the purification of their morals and reforming of their behavior a priority as well. So the Prophet was able to a dual prioritization of his mission, calling to a tawheed on the one side and calling to good character and fine morals on the other. In fact, one of the Prophet's companions, Abu Dharr radiyallahu anhu, he narrated, "When the knowledge of the Prophet's emergence first reached me, I said to my brother, travel to that valley," meaning Mecca, "and listen to what he preaches, and come back to me and tell me what he calls to." When he came back, he said, I found him instructing the people to observe the highest standard of character, which means he wasn't just calling to a tawheed, he was also calling people to have fine morals and good character. We also find from Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, when he was asked in the early period of Islam to summarize the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, he said, he calls to the oneness of Allah, teaches us not to associate anything with him, and forbids us from worshiping idols. He demands that we speak the truth, are faithful to our trusts, that we fulfill the rights of neighbors, and maintain the ties of kinship. He forbids us from slandering chaste women, from the unlawful consumption of the property of orphans, and from illegal bloodshed. He orders us to refrain from indecent behavior and to generally abstain from immoral conduct. What lessons can we learn from what we heard today? First of all, we have to use wisdom when calling to Allah's religion. Notice, when it was too dangerous for the Prophet to call openly, he called secretly. That's using wisdom. It teaches us as Muslims in our day and time that if there's harm in an approach, or if the harm of an approach in calling outweighs the benefit, we should take another approach that minimizes or eliminates actual or potential harm. If doing something is dangerous or more harmful than the benefit that comes from doing it, then we adjust, we adapt to minimize and eliminate the potential harm and still get the job done. Number 2, monotheism at-tawheed and good character, husnul khuluq, are the cornerstones of Islam. These are the most fundamental and basic pillars of our religion. Somebody asks you, summarize Islam in a sentence. You say at-tawheed wa husnul khuluq. You say monotheism and good character, being a good person. That's Islam in a nutshell. The former, the first of these, at-tawheed, is the key to paradise. The Prophet, he said, Man qala la ilaha illallah dakhil al-jannah. Whoever says la ilaha illallah, there's no deity worthy of worship except Allah, meaning he embraces at-tawheed, he embraces monotheism, he will enter paradise. It is the key to paradise. And the second one, husnul khuluq, good character, is the heaviest of all deeds in the scales. The Prophet said, Afqalu shay'in fil mizan, husnul khuluq. He said the most weightiest, the heaviest thing on the scales on the day of judgment, all the deeds that you do, the thing that will weigh the most is good character, being a good person. Number 3, when one presents Islam to non-Muslims or teaches it to new Muslims, he should begin with and prioritize at-tawheed, the oneness of Allah. When the Prophet would send his emissaries, when he would send his ambassadors, when he would send people out to call to Islam, he would tell them, فَلْيَكُنْ أَوَّلْ مَا تَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَيْهِ شَهَادَةُ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And let the first thing you call them to be the oneness of Allah. Number 4, from the lessons, there is no contradiction between prioritizing at-tawheed, monotheism, the oneness of Allah, and emphasizing the importance of good character. One can be both. One can do both. One can chew gum and walk at the same time. And this is important because many Muslims, because they want to emphasize good character, they think good character is the way to, it's the door to touch people, to reach people. They tend to downplay the importance of a tawheed or calling to monotheism when they give da'wah. No, you can do both. You can call to strict monotheism and at the same time call to good character, just like the Prophet did. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. It's not an either or circumstance. I have to do this, or I have to do that. No, we can do both. And last but not least from the lessons is that character, behavior, good manners, all of these things are of great importance. How we conduct ourselves, how we treat other people, these are things which are of extreme importance in our religion. And we should never think that being religious means it's okay to have bad character, to mistreat other people. Unfortunately, it's sad nowadays. In our times, it seems that the more religious people get, the poorer their character becomes. That's wrong. The Prophet ﷺ was the most religious person, and he had the best character. People loved the way he behaved. Even his enemies, they didn't have anything bad to say about his character. He was always honest. He was always truthful. He could be trusted. He wasn't treacherous. He never betrayed. They would always have, even though his enemies were forced to say good things about him behind his back. Why? Because he had good character. And so we have to understand that we can be religious. We have to be religious. And being religious does not mean that we can just ignore how we treat or downplay the importance of how we treat other people. It is very important. We have something in Islam called Haqqullah wa Haqqul Ibad, the rights of Allah and the rights of His servants. And we have to understand that those two things have great weight in the sight of Allah. In fact, Allah will pardon us. He will forgive us if sometimes we fall short when it comes to His right, Haqqullah. But when it comes to the rights of the people, Allah will not pardon us for that. We have to give people their rights. We have to treat people the way they're supposed to be treated. And if we shirk that responsibility, if we step on people and we lie to them, we cheat them, we mistreat them unfairly, unjustly, with no right to do that, then we have to understand that if we don't make amends for that in this world, there'll be a heavy price to pay in the hereafter. So we have to remember this, that good character, how we treat people, is something which is very important in our religion. And it's never something that it's okay if I'm worshiping Allah, then it doesn't matter how I treat the people. No, both of these things matter. And in fact, when you make mistakes when it comes to Allah's right, it can be forgiven. But when it comes to the rights of the people, that you have to make up for it with the people, or you have to pay the price for it in the hereafter. May Allah protect us from having to pay that price. In closing, before we close, I want to give the question of the week for our competition. That question is, after the first words of revelation were revealed to the Prophet, the revelation was suspended for a few days. What were the two possible reasons given for this? I'll repeat the question. After the first words of revelation were revealed to the Prophet, the revelation was suspended for a few days. What were the two possible reasons given for this? Again, you'll find the path on our website. Please participate with us, give your answer, and inshallah ta'ala this Friday we will announce the winner of this week's Question of the Week competition. And remember, there's a cash prize that's out there. It's ready for the taking, and it's just up to you to submit your answer. May Allah bless us all in this month of Ramadan. May He accept our fasting, may He accept our prayers, may He accept our dua. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who listen to the talk and follow the best of it. And may He make us from those who He teaches beneficial knowledge, and make us from those who benefit from the knowledge He teaches us by practicing it. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله